Hello, everybody. Dr. Natalie Gentile here with Rebels in Wellness interview series. And I am so psyched today to speak with Jodi Butler, who I've been wanting to talk to for a while because I know that she is a wellness rebel in her industry. Welcome, Jodi.
Thank you.
So you are the owner of Pittsburgh FIT and you founded this. Tell us about your business.
Yeah, so about 10 years ago, I was working in the corporate world and I grew up loving fitness and loving health and always committed to it. And I started a small boot camp in the park and it grew. People just started to catch on. And then I rented a room in a community center and decided this is what I wanted. I really wanted to make a direct left in my life. And so I started Pittsburgh FIT. We started really as group training, but we've evolved over the past 10 years into understanding ourselves as a personal training gym that also does group training. Nutrition is a big piece of what we do. I think it's the foundation of almost everybody's health issues. And then we also do some individualized program design.
10 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, we have about 300 members. We're in 9,000 square feet over in like the Regent Square, Point Breeze, Wilkinsburg area. I think now we have 13 coaches working for us. So yeah, we're a business. We're in the business of wellness and the business of fitness.
That wellness world, and part of the idea behind these Rebels and Wellness interviews is that wellness word has a connotation. And for those of us that are trying to kind of disrupt that space and empower and people in the community to really take ownership of their health, what are you guys doing over there? You mentioned nutrition and fitness. What are you doing over there that helps to teach people how to take those tools into their daily lives?
Yeah. So, I think that some of the biggest keys to wellness are really simple things. Nutrition, movement every day. It doesn't have to be hardcore working out, but we've got to use this body and move it. Sleep, water, hydration, socialization, financial wellness. Obviously, we're not doing a lot around financial wellness, but it's a piece of what makes up the whole of a human being.
So as a lifestyle medicine boarded physician, that is how I see every single patient every day, is through that lens. Yep. But a lot of times people will walk into the doctor's office and hear, you need to eat better, you need to work out. Bye. What are the tools? And one of the things that you mentioned in your interview responses prior to this today is you talked about, these systematic changes that need to happen so that we really make those health focuses of the whole body a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, so you mean more on a system level, what needs to change? Yeah. I think that, that our entire system is set up for sick care. The system as we know it today, what we call healthcare and our politics, it's set up to catch people at the bottom of the net, not to prevent them from falling into it, is the way I like to think about that. And so if we push the same amount of resources towards the front end, which is making sure people have access to healthy foods, making sure they live in environments that are safe for them to get out and move. Those are those are simple pieces, but I really believe that that poverty is the largest health risk in the world. And I think that's really outside the scope of what we're talking about. But if people don't have access to food that is nutritious and organic and non-GMO, then we're going to have a whole lot of back-end health issues and wellness issues.
And a lot of the things that we prescribe or talk about as building someone's wellness tend to be expensive in our current world. At least that's how they're marketed. It really takes educating a community to teach them these are ways to do this in more of an affordable manner, because the wellness industry has taken so many of these modalities and made them far too expensive or inaccessible for the average person.
Right. If you just look at, for example, I don't eat fast food, but I do watch television. So there is that kind of consumption. So I know how much cheaper it is for a family to eat at, say, McDonald's or wherever the fast food is, than it is for them to buy organic vegetables and prepare those vegetables, and then or organic grass-fed farm raised meats, for example. I don't eat meat either, but people do. And so how do we ensure that there is access for everyone to these types of foods?
There's financial poverty, and then there's also health literacy poverty,
Serious health literacy poverty. Yeah. I mean, do you remember Vaughn Jones? Do you remember him? He had an organization some 12 years ago called the Fourth Quadrant. And this was an issue he was trying to address, was getting healthy foods into impoverished communities, and doing it by way of teaching kids how to garden, or and then also teaching underprivileged young people how to install solar panels or windmills. I don't know if you know about this, but I think it's all connected. Like, in my idea, Natalie, is that we don't have one issue. Every one of these issues is inevitable because of the issue before it. Mm-hmm. Right? We have a problem with the nutritional content in each food because we have an issue with soil. We have an issue with soil because we've over agriculturalized. We have an issue also because we, essentially rape the land of fossil fuels. And so every one of these pieces is related to the one before. And now I know I just laid out a lot of problems. And I do think there are solutions that we can do in our everyday life. And it's things like recycling and composting and buying from farmers markets. And yeah, those are some big pieces, I think, that we need to take care of. And I think another gigantic step towards this would be to, in our public education curriculum, that grades 12 or K through 12, that kids know how to garden, they know how to prepare their own food, they do a meditation every day. It doesn't have to be connected to any type of religion, but can we get children to sit quietly for 5 minutes and just notice how they breathe?
Yes. This is so true. And as I'm hearing all of this, that kind of everything's interconnected. If you follow it all back, most of it's going to end up as a money issue. Follow the trail of who's getting paid.
That's right.
That will tell, who are the vested interests here.
That's right.
And usually the vested interests are not the same as who should be benefiting from these things and who really needs the benefits.
That's true. So I think, and this is something way outside the scope of it, I really understand, but I think if we took lobbyists out of Washington and even out of our state and local governments, like all of that money that influences, then we might start making decisions that are on the behalf of our citizens and populations, and not on behalf of the biggest donors to campaigns.
You and I see the lobbyists in real form every day, sitting across from me in my chair as a patient, coming to your facility. These are the people, these are the voices that need to be heard, but don't have the self-advocacy or the advocacy around them to really have those voices heard. And so then you end up, we put our trust in lobbyists where it's not always going to serve the actual good of the population. You were in corporate world prior to your job, right? I
spent 20 years in banking, finance, and then 15 years at UPMC. Actually, so 25 years altogether. Mm-hmm.
So you're a recovering corporate employee.
I am, yes.
Yeah. So how has that kind of rebelling out of that industry, how has that helped you in your wellness journey?
Well, I mean, I feel like my experience in the corporate world, and it may not be true for everybody, and I got to tell you that every employer I had treated me really well and set me up really well for the next thing I wanted to do. And but the truth is that anywhere I saw that there was a need for change, in the organizations that I worked in, from the position that I sat in, it was not possible to make that change without going through committee and committee and committee and committee. And like people like me get worn down in that world. They get really worn down. And then we just start doing our own thing. And that's what happened for me. I was working for a major healthcare system in the Steel Tower. I went out for lunch one day. I was previously working on the 62nd floor, so I had lunch delivered to me every day, it was exquisite. And one day I was like, I just got to get out of this building. And Occupy Wall Street was going on in Mellon Square. And I didn't know much about it, but I realized that these folks are like, they're onto something here. And when I was walking back across the street, I realized that everything I was doing there was because they were paying me really well. And again, they treated me well. But I just, I realized that if I lost all my money, that what would my life matter? Like, who would I have really impacted? And when I got upstairs, I thought I'm going to do something different. And I started that boot camp. Nice. That's how it happened.
Yeah, because those golden handcuffs can only go so far. Yeah. You know, the benefits, the money, the being treated, you know, well, or the accolades or rising up in job positions. But if you can't make change because of all the roadblocks that are in such big institutions, where are you really going for your life's purpose then?
Right. That's right. And, you know, when we would do community health risk assessments, we always like to talk about the things that we were already working on. And I wanted to talk about things like childhood obesity. You know, how do we address this issue before it hits our front door? And there wasn't much appetite for that. And that's when I realized we've got a real discrepancy between what I believe I want to be working towards and maybe what they want to be talking about.
Well, that I can tell you is definitely in the healthcare industry for sure, you know, and across all industries. So I appreciate you for offering a solution to the community at Pittsburgh FIT, Pittsburgh FIT. And I feel like we could talk forever about these topics, Jodi. So I'm so grateful for you, you know, bringing this to the attention of the community. And I look forward to future conversations like this.
Great, Natalie. Thanks so much. Yeah, anytime.
This is awesome. All right. Well, take care, everyone, and tune in next time for our next Rebels in Wellness interview.
Be well.